Hi Virgos, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tawana Antoinette. Two things before we head into your reading. The first is I officially launched my Patreon. The link can be found below. On Patreon, we discuss anything spirituality, esotericism, we discuss religion, we discuss just really any occult knowledge, anything we discuss on this channel, further analysis of social media posts from me. So it's really a spiritual community where we can grow together. You can learn from and with me in one centralized location. So let's just say one does not want to connect in the form of a personal reading, does not need that personal one-on-one advice, or can't even afford it. This Patreon is really an affordable means to be able to support this channel in the growth and expansion and awareness of ascending to all of our higher selves, and also help you to come along with that journey. It's one space where we can all learn together, where I will speak on astrological events, where I will speak on numerology. Just come to spiritual school, essentially. So that's down below if you do want to check that out. Some of the posts are unlocked, so you're able to see those free of charge before you do subscribe. So if you want to check that out, you can. With that said, let's move into your reading. This will be a 2021 reading. You'll be able to kind of see what are some personal themes that are coming up for you in 2021, as well as we'll discuss some of the things that you're closing out in 2020 and leaving behind. This is a collective reading, so it may or may not resonate. If it does, great. If it does not, check your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and north node signs. Or you can find another reader on YouTube. That's always an option because there are many wonderful readers here. So with that said, let's jump right in. Now, the first thing in the spread, or place in the spread, is what you're leaving behind in 2020. And it's coming up as a Three of Swords and the Six of Cups. The Three of Swords talks about grief, pain, loss, and the Six of Cups talks about a feeling of nostalgia, a feeling of wanting things to be a specific way in a current situation that they aren't. So having nostalgic feelings and wanting them to manifest in the current situation, but they can't because it's just nostalgia, something that happened in the past. So this could be you thinking about an old relationship. This could be you thinking about an old friendship that has caused you pain, suffering, or has possibly ended. The Six of Cups can represent a lot of things. It can represent intimate love, it can represent platonic love, but mostly it just talks about a kind of relationship that feels like love and friendship. Some people call this a soulmate card, but it's not restricted to romance. So I feel like some of you experience this in relation to someone else, this grief, loss, disappointment, pain, whatever that would look like. It doesn't have to be an ending of a relationship, but maybe you found out some information that was harmful, or some information that hurt you, or something that hurt your feelings, or whatever the case is. You're leaving behind something painful in relation to someone else in 2020. And what you're taking with you into 2021, I see that you're committed to moving on, because this is the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The Eight of Cups talks about moving away from something to pursue something else. And the Ace of Swords talks about being clear, finally having that clarity, truth, wisdom. So I feel like you're committed to whatever hurt you, you're walking away from it in 2020, and you mean it, because now you're actually seeing things clearly, seeing things for whatever they are. So maybe this was something that you were in a cycle. Maybe this is a cycle that you were in before that you were not recognizing to be harmful, or you just didn't have enough yet until you finally had enough. But I see you committed to walking away from someone or something in 2020, like it started in 2020 and you're following through with it in 2021, because you're all of a sudden clear on where you want to go, who you want to go with, all that good stuff. So the reflections, in the place of reflections, which is last year's biggest lesson. This is coming up as a Tower, the Nine of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. What this means to me is that you perhaps had a lot of unexpected things happen to you in 2020. So just random unexpected occurrences. People just left. Situations just ended. Random accident. Just anything that is just a sudden change that you were not expecting and caught you completely off guard. Right? So I feel like a lot of those things probably happened to you in 2020, and not just you, a lot of people, but I'm seeing here more that's something that popped up in your reading, so that's probably something that had the most of an impact on you, Virgos. So the biggest lesson, this is coming up to me as learning to be emotionally content with those things that you invest in that have random changes to them. So the Seven of Pentacles talks about things that we invest and grow, right? The Nine of Cups talks about emotional satisfaction as well as financial satisfaction as well, financial and material satisfaction. The Tower talks about sudden changes. To me, what these three cards represent together is learning to be okay emotionally, regardless of whatever changes may come in things that you've already invested in or decided on. So for example, this could look like a relationship that you thought was growing and that you thought you were investing in and that you thought made you happy and all that stuff. The person just randomly out of the blue just woke up one day and said to you, I don't want to be with you anymore because I want to move to Antarctica. These three cards speak on being okay and learning to provide yourself with that emotional well-being on your own, no matter what tower moment pops up, no matter what unexpected obstacle pops up. It's just having that emotional investment in yourself to have the wherewithal to withstand any kind of turbulent chaos that the universe is temporarily throwing out there at you. Oftentimes when things like that come and they shake us up to the core, it's really kind of a good moment to look on why this thing is affecting you in this way, and maybe if you need to practice some amount of detachment, that moment will help you to do that. So I feel like you got a chance to focus a lot on rolling with the tides in 2020 and learning to be okay even if things happen that were unforeseen or unexpected. Just making sure that you take care of your well-being always. There's somebody that I met one time and they said to me, and this created such a big impact for me, they said you should never ever place your happiness in one person's hands. And that was so big for me at the time, because I felt like at that age or at that moment in my journey, that's exactly what I needed to hear. One, but it was also so great because sometimes we do have a tendency of getting in this sweet spot with people and feeling like, okay, cool, like nothing can change. But from what we know about life is cyclical, and if it's one thing about life is it will constantly change. So we need to be able to develop the emotional wherewithal and strength to be okay with life and its many changes, to always make sure that we're always good regardless of what happens to us and happens for us. So moving on, the next card is 2020's biggest achievement for you, and that's coming up as a Sun, Four of Cups, King of Swords, and the Temperance card. So following on again on this theme, right? Why do I feel like you were so underwhelmed with it? Well, a lot of people were underwhelmed with the year 2020, but I felt like it was such a wonderful, I feel as though in the disappointment of 2020, you learned how to embrace your happiness anyway. So whatever did not come together, which is what the Temperance card and the King of Wands to me here is speaking on, like whatever did not come together, whatever relation, whatever person didn't want you back, or whatever thing, whatever job didn't come together in the way that you wanted to, I feel like these cards speak on maintaining that happiness anyway. So this speaks on a happiness and success coming from inside of you versus any conditional situational moment. I feel like there was a hypervigilance on learning how to be happy with yourself regardless of what is happening or what is not happening around you. So that's what I think is coming up as your biggest achievement. You are happy anyway, despite it all, despite anything, despite whatever practical thing didn't happen, despite whatever thing didn't manifest for you, despite who didn't want you, despite whatever. I feel like you were able to still commit to self and commit to the things that you had to do to earn success. This success might look different to all of you Virgos watching this right now, but you were able to still be successful, whether it be to just maintain your mental health every single day, you know, that's a success. So it's just being able to roll with the tides and being good regardless. The next position we have here is your personal theme for 2021, and that's the Page of Wands and the Hanged Man. The Page of Wands speaks on having many creative ideas and creative sparks, but being restricted from acting them out or from bringing them in the physical reality because of a lack of experience and fear. And then the Hanged Man also talks about looking at things from another perspective, but what the Hanged Man energy warns you of is not to remain in this hanging perspective too long, because the Hangman, if he's there for too long, can get stuck, and that's what creates delays and stagnancy. So I feel like your theme for 2021 is going to be expanding on those amazing ideas that you have in your mind that you're suppressing and thinking about and overly thinking about. If we know anything about Virgo energy, it's the energy of perfection. And the thing with perfection is, one, it's unattainable, and two, what's the fun in something being perfect, you know? The joy of something not being perfect is that you can continue to improve on that. So the message here is essentially, don't get stuck on ideas that you have because you're trying to perfect them to a T. I know that is a very Virgo thing, but it's coming up here as a theme for you in 2021. Apparently you will be having some great ideas and Spirit wants you to manifest them versus just staying stuck on thinking about them. So just be aware of that. And then the guidance for 2021 is coming up as the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. Now, Ace of Pentacles talks about a brand new practical beginning. Oftentimes this can look like a new career, new job, new way to make money, new business, all that good stuff. But then the Eight of Swords talks about putting limitations on yourself and being in your head about things so much so that you kind of create self-imposed limits. And the guidance here and the advice here is, in these new ventures that you're creating, in these new ideas that you're creating in the Page of Wands, Ace of Pentacles energy, when you're manifesting them into the real world, into actual practical beginnings, just be mindful that you are a student and you're learning, and something that you're conquering is your fear, something that you're conquering is your lack of experience, and that's a beautiful space to be in as well, to be learning something new. So don't get too stuck on yourself. Be confident too. Be confident in the things that you're creating, and don't be too hard and critical of yourself, because I get the sense here that nobody will be as hard on you as you are being hard on yourself. So that's just kind of a little guiding light for 2021. Just make sure you're not putting any self restrictions. You're not stuck in your head, because whenever you feel yourself getting too stuck in your head, you're becoming overly critical of your ideas, overly critical of things that you're creating. Just practice coming out of that energy and saying thank you. Just saying thank you for the idea, thank you for being able to acknowledge the idea and act on as much action you've committed so far. Just say thanks. Just sit in a moment of gratitude to get yourself out of this energy in your head, because this is the energy that will counteract this one. And if you already have this Ace of Pentacles and this brand new beginning, what Spirit is saying here, this is something that has a lot of potential to reap you money, to reap you, you know, like purpose, to reap you mostly abundance and wealth. So staying out of this energy is how you're going to be able to reap what you need to reap from whatever you're creating. All right, so the next place here is your cosmic superpower for 2021, and it's coming up as a death and rebirth, Two of Swords, and the King of Swords, right? So tell me about the death and rebirth. Tell me about the death card here. What's the death card here? Clarified by the Six of Pentacles. Alright, so the Six of Pentacles talks about giving back and forth. Also sometimes talks about having more than you need, sharing with others. So your cosmic superpower in the King of Swords, this is coming up as a very logical energy, right? It's an energy of making logical decisions over emotional ones. And then it's coupled with the Two of Swords. So I feel like instead of this indecisive energy that you have been in or have experienced, I feel like you've kind of, or you will be able in 2021 to actually mature into your logic and be able to make decisive decisions and commit to them, right? I also feel like you, as a superpower in 2021, you will be able to, I don't know if this is a new way to make money that you're stumbling upon, or like you're reinventing your career, or reinventing, yeah, I feel like it's like a reinvention of how you make money, or a reinvention of how you handle your finances, or whatever this is in your financial arena. I feel like you're taking a very logical approach to your finances, and that's coming up as a strength. So maybe you're now becoming very strategic. You have a plan. You started out with a plan at the end of the year. Also, you're Virgos and you're very, very good with planning. You have that grounded earth energy, but you are also very, very good with strategizing. So I feel like this is in the area of your finances. It's saying here that you'll have your strength next year will be strategizing as it pertains how you're making income. Perhaps you leave one job and transform to another job. Perhaps you quit one job that isn't serving you and start working for yourself. But there's going to be some kind of transformation in the area of finances and how you receive and you make and receive, you give and receive money. And then the last cards are the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Cups, which speaks on how to harness your superpower. And to me, this simply means not wavering on the decisions that you make. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. Clarified by the Queen of Swords. So we have the King and Queen of Swords. So this is about to be a very logical head over heart year for you, right? The year of planning, of strategizing, of intellect, probably even higher learning too. But yes, how you harness this is not faltering in your decisions. Queen of Swords talks about speaking her mind, making decisions in an intellectual way, regardless of how you feel about it. This is not a queen who is trying to hurt your feelings, but if she says something or does something that happens to hurt your feelings, then so be it. That's her truth. And I feel like this is the energy that you have to step into or harness more in 2021, is not faltering on decisions that you make and thinking afterwards how you coulda, woulda, shoulda done something, because this is my coulda, woulda, shoulda card. So harnessing this energy of sticking through to your strategy, sticking through to your plan, not faltering on decisions that you're making, and not being in this juggling, indecisive, oh, should I do this, should I do that energy. So let's get some additional advice from the Oracle deck, the Wisdom of the Oracle deck for you. Spirit, what is the advice for Virgos for 2021? What's Virgo's advice for 2021, please? Round and round, card number 25. The spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. If you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it is because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be a part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them? When you find yourself in a repeated pattern of the past, it's a good time to get a coach or mentor who can help you see what you can't on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from old cycles and cease going round and round. All right, so maybe this is saying you'll be in some cyclical relationships in 2021 where you'll also be experiencing some lessons as a chance to integrate them more, but you're also integrating these lessons from a place of empowerment because you've seen some of these things before and as a result know how to navigate them better. So if this was helpful for you, let me know below. Comment, like, all that good stuff. Everything you need from me is in the description. With that said, I'll see you next time. Bye.